Welcome back to Hot Rods World. Today we're gonna try to get this carburetor off. So here's the old one. I'm gonna take it off. I'm not gonna record all that, but we have a couple bolts right here. It's 4 bolts to get it off. Got to get my 2 fuel fittings off, my nitrous linkage, and then on this side you got my carburetor wire. So we're gonna take it off. Like I say, they made some advancements. We'll see if it actually improves the throttle response or ET. So I'm going from that, and we're switching over to this particular baby here. Like I say, I'm not even gonna start to go through the stuff that they changed, because I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure what they all changed. I mean, you figure in 10 years they should have made some improvements. Like I say, I was just measuring around, and we'll pull it out, but you know, they're similar in size and stuff like that, but it seems like they did something different to the size of the ports maybe. But like I say, I'm gonna pause the video, and when next time you see me, we'll have both carburetors on the bench, and we'll see what happens from there. Just want to show you a little progress. So right now, got this off. I got the 2 bolts here. Got the spring off. Got the throttle linkage off. So one of the things we had to do to get it around this solenoid here, it might be hard to see, but I got this bolt here. But look here, we had to put a washer in here to get this up. So this one we're gonna work on right now is making sure I don't drop those bolts down here for my throttle linkage, which you can also see on this part. Let me see here. Just trying to get a good angle between all these solenoids. But basically, this bracket here holds my solenoid here, so we're gonna have to hold this and then make sure we get it back up. But hang tight. Let's see if we can get it back off. And all right, well, got it done. Wasn't too bad. Like I say, check it out here. Actually, see the nitrous bar. This intake was actually port match. It's really hard to see, but it was port match in there. You can see how smooth it is to the heads. Like I say, this is BES combination right here, but you can see my bars for the plate right here running in here. And like I say, got this out the way. It's a little first time I actually had to take it off with the foggers up there. Normally I just had a plate, so let's cover that up, make sure I don't get no trash in there. Let's go over here. I mean, like I say, there, like I say, old and new here. Like I say, I mean, for size and that type of stuff, I'm pretty sure they made some advancements that I'm not aware of. One of the things I didn't notice, it seems like my ports here, I mean, just in physical size is bigger compared to my old 4150, and like, I'm pretty sure there's something different in between the metering blocks here and here that I care not to explain. Like say, I have to do some reading up on some of the advancement. I actually did get they sent me a carb sheet with both of these, so I have to go back and look and see if I can see anything. But I know I was watching a video the other day of Turbo John. He did a real good breakdown of carburetors. So I actually gonna put this, if you look in the description below, I'll have a link to his, and he talks way more about carburetors than I know at this time. So at this time, I got to get this off here for my fuel line, so I'll move that over here, and let's see if we can get it back up. Maybe we can see if we can get it fired up, because I got to set my bowls. As people say on these carburetors, got the glass here so I can see my fuel on both sides. Well, it's actually glass on the other side, but over here gives you a little peekaboo window. Let me see if I can, sorry for the camera angle, but there's two glasses right here. You can actually peek in like a little peekaboo window and see the fuel coming in. So all right, let me see if I can get these parts moved from here to there, and See if we can get it back up there. And like I say, maybe we'll even get the fired up later on. Right now, it's in North Carolina. It's sunny outside, but I promise you, it's I think it's about 40 degrees right now. So right now it's about 9:30. Oh yeah, maybe one day we'll go through my tow rig. It's 2011 F-150 Harley Davidson edition with the 6.2 liter, so it's pretty good on horsepower and torque. I think it's 435 horsepower and 450 torque. All right, got those moved over. So one of the little tricks here, or I don't know if it's a trick, but to get that off, I have to loosen up one of those bolts. Let me see if I can get the camera better. Try not to leak gas everywhere. But I have to take off one of these bolts, and then I can slide it around, and it's 2 Phillips behind that. So let's see if I can at least take this one out, and then I'll show you what it looks like before I take it off. All right, just got it back now. So if you see it now, it exposes that second mount. And like I said, that black switch is my activation for my nitrous. And like I say, it's this little tiny screw here. Let's see if I can get my camera to zoom in. It's got a little nut on the back that just happened to slide off here. So these two were on the back, so you got to kind of hold your finger to get it tight. And like I say, I'm gonna take these two off with a Phillips screwdriver, and then we'll put it on the new carburetor. So, but I just want to show you, you don't have to take it all the way off. You can just break that top screw loose enough to let it fall, to gain access to those, and we'll be putting this fella back up there in just a little bit. So hang tight. Let's see if I can get it transferred over, at least getting it set on the other motor. So just got it off here, but I just noticed a difference here. So if you look here on this side of this guy, he has two, where my two screws at, but when I looked at the side of this guy here, he only has one. So I'm gonna see if I can get it in there tight enough. Basically what I need this bolt to hit my actuator to activate my nitrous. So I need to get it far enough back where it doesn't push it too hard, but I want it to also trigger it. So let me see if I can work on, because it's got to trigger that end right there, and you hear that clicking noise. That's what I want to make sure, that this bolt right here hits the bottom of that as it's going. So I might have to switch in the hose. So let's see if I can make it work. All right, I got it back. I actually had to steal that little screw. Let me see if I can point to it. I had to steal this from here. The other one I got was so long, and really, if you watch it, like say for people, carburetors, you just basically want to be able to turn your throttle blades open so it can just hit that switch. You see that? You hear that it just got to make contact right here to hit it, and that's what activates our nitrous over here. So I'll show you. Let me so on this guy, you saw that little screw, but it came from the factory. So it came from there. It had this long bolt right here. So what I ended up doing on this carburetor, actually had two holes. So this one, if you see here, this one's blank. Only use that one that's tied it kind of tight, and this right here doesn't really have to be super tight. Just got to be enough to trigger that click. So let's see what we got over here. So let's see if we can get it back on. So got my gasket down there set down here. We'll clean it up a little bit. Let me see if I can, like say, fit it up there a little bit better. Like I say, it's pretty much matched up, so it won't interfere with airflow we getting. One of the things I did notice on this carb compared to the other one was that my ports are a lot deeper on this. They're not much bigger this way or this way, but down there the carburetor's taller physically. So I don't know if they did that to help airflow, do something with that, but that's only really the one thing I did notice about that carburetor, is that I mean, like say, besides the metering block. So we'll start getting everything connected back, and then once we do that, we'll set our floats just where we can see a little bit of fuel, and then we'll see if we can get it fired up. It's kind of cold out here, so I may have to fire it up. It may take me when it gets a little warmer. And I just noticed I actually got the carburetor on backwards. I was like, hold on, something's not right. So let me flip this around here and get ours. Let me get this. Just realized it from the linkage. So, okay, so I got that set. So, okay, this makes more sense to me now. All right, there we go. So, got my throttle linkage I'll put back here. My fuel lines will go there. Check for leaks. And we'll see what happens after I check for leaks. Maybe we can get it fired up. It's about, let's see what time it is now. It's about 10:50. So like I said, we're getting around lunchtime. Probably around lunchtime get a little heat in here. And we'll see if we can get it fired up after we set our floats. So let me get it back together and we'll return. All right, got to tighten up a little bit. Got a little slack, but a lot better than we had before. So, all right, let's see if we can get some power. Let's see if we got any leaks. Pressurize the fuel system real quick. You kind of see the fuel in the bowls. Probably lower the back down a little bit, about halfway. On the front is a little bit. So let me adjust the bowls real quick and let's see if we can get it fired up. Well, got everything in the car. We're gonna see if we can get a. First thing I had to fight with the floats in there. I had a time with that, but I think I got it about halfway right. So let's see if she'll fire up with a new carburetor. think I was recording, but I think I took a picture, but I think we got some success. Like I say, we got it here. Got everything back on. Like I was saying before I was going, this is my auto screw here. And what I was looking here, I was trying to just get a little bit feel in the windows here on both sides, which I got. When I get around some more of my buddies at the racetrack or my brother here, I can put a little bit more. You can see it's just barely in the windows in both, which is pretty good. Like I say, I may put a little more fuel in here, but like I say, I think that's the first time she's been fired up and ran at least up to 180 degrees or so, which is pretty good. Like I say, got it. So next step is got to get her up on jack stands, and like I said, I got not sure, I got to leak towards the back, and the only way I could be able to replicate that is by actually making passes. But hopefully there's one cable, I don't know if you can see it back here, but this hole right here goes to my race pack dashboard, and it is actually got a fitting in the back of the block, and the only way you can get to it is by dropping the transmission out or pulling it apart. So that's my next goal, is to get the car on blocks and stands and see if I can get the transmission at least separated. I don't want to pull it out because it's working pretty good, but at least get it where it's separated. But like I say, new carburetor on. Like I say, hopefully it does better. We'll see. Like I say, my other carburetors, my brother actually got a little Fox he's putting together, so that carburetor go on his car, and continue to be able to give life to another engine. So like I say, we'll go over the details of the motor at a later time, but like I say, just wanted to go through and show you at least carburetor switch over, see how it runs. I actually got it running pretty good. Got the idle set at like 1300, which is pretty good. Like you say, I'll adjust these floats here in the front and back a little bit more. That may be perfect. Like I said, I get around some of my other buddies that know carburetors better than me, so having it right at the window may be perfect. And then I got to validate this, because I did have to. We actually used the idle pulley. I mean, the idle bolt to trigger my nitrous. So I need to make sure now that I got once I get the float set, it seems to idle pretty good right there, so I might not have to mess with it. We'll just make sure it doesn't try to lean out or fall on its face when I go to the to make some passes. I'll make some motor passes on it. Might have to change the jets in the carburetor, but we'll see. See if it picks up on motor or not. And I think that's it. So comment, like, subscribe. Like I say, hopefully had a good time watching me put on this carburetor. I had to fight with it. Like I say, this right here threw me for a little loop, because on the old setup it actually had two bolts, and the bolt that came with it, this bolt, I might have to get a taller bolt. We'll see, but it should be able to trigger this guy, because now this is at a island, so that means the bolt's out a little bit farther, but I think it should still trigger this. I'll have to mat it to the floor and just make sure my nitrous, activate my nitrous. But other than that, I'll see you next time.